The burden of disease is growing each and every day. And many researchers today, they are unveiling to the public different new researches on how to fight against disease. Unfortunately, the more effort is put in fighting disease, the more disease is emerging triumphant, even with flying colors. Could it be that there is a missing piece in the puzzle of fighting against disease? Is there anything we are missing out? As a matter of fact, over years, a lot of methods, a lot of things have been done in order to fight disease, but the results that come out are the same. Are we fighting against disease, or we are fighting against ourselves? In fact, haven't you thought about it? That where there is a big hospital, there is a big mortuary. Is there hope for humanity today? It's in this video that we are going to share with you an understanding on how we can effectively combat and fight disease. It is in this video that we are going to explain certain things in an extraordinary way as we make a paradigm shift in our thoughts to see if there is any hope beyond this hopelessness that we see. Come with me in this journey as we look at this solution, an epitome of understanding how to deal with disease. Like every manufacturer of any appliance, the human body has also a manufacturer. And the manufacturer of the human body has given out this body with a manual that is to be followed if the body is to be in good health. We are going to consider a few quotations in our video. And our first one is coming from the book, The Ministry of Healing. The Ministry of Healing, under the chapter, The Use of Remedies, that should be between page 235 and 237. The statement says, God has endowed in us a certain amount of vital force. He has also formed us with organs suited to maintain the various functions of life. And He designs that these organs shall work together in harmony. If we carefully preserve the life force and keep the delicate mechanism of the body in order, the result is health. But if the vital force is too rapidly exhausted, the nervous system borrows power for present use from its resources of strength. And when one organ is injured or are affected, nature bears much abuse without apparent resistance. She then arouses and makes a determined effort to remove the effect of the ill treatment she has suffered. Her effort to correct these conditions is often manifested in fever and various other forms of sicknesses. So plain and clear to the word. To say God has endowed in this body specific vital force or power so that the human body is able to resist disease and also to signal us when actually there is something wrong. But quickly, let me explain something. When you are dealing with health matters, mostly you will want to define what health is. But in this case, we are going to define disease in its simplest form. So, what is disease? Disease can simply be defined in a layman's language by dividing the word in two: dis and is. Dis simply means not. Is simply means you are relaxed, there is no anxiety, and everything is moving on smoothly. So dis-ease simply means not at ease. Not at ease of what? Here is the basic understanding. When you look at the body, it's made up of components. We begin with the basic unit of the body, which is a cell. Two cells put together, they give you a tissue. Tissues combined, they make an organ. An organ plus another organ or more combined, they give us a system. And it is these systems that make up the human body, like the nervous system, the cardiac system, the digestive system, and the like. So these systems combined, these are the ones in the ministry of healing that are referred to as nature. So the body itself, Ellen White puts it to say, it's nature. And nature has vital force that actually it has in order for us to keep on going and all the systems to be at ease. Now, here is a definition of disease according to Ministry of Healing, page 127, reading on the first paragraph. Disease is an effort of nature to free the system from conditions that result from a violation of the laws of health. It says disease is an effort of nature. In this instance or context, nature is referred to or is being referred to as the body. So disease is an effort of the body to free the system from conditions that are as a result of the violation of the laws of health. Let us break this down. It means that there are laws that govern our bodies, and these laws are laws of health. In order to maintain the body in good health, there are laws that are to be followed. Like I said earlier, to say the same like every other appliance that comes with a manual. Even the human body has got a manual that has laws, and these laws are to be followed if the system is to be kept at ease. Therefore, if these laws are violated, then the body comes into play because the system of the body has been put in a certain or specific condition that is not at ease. The moment a law of health is violated, the body quickly responds because a continuous violation makes the body to get in a certain condition that is not suitable for the body to run well. Therefore, the body comes into play, or nature comes into play, in order to free the system from this condition that it gets in because of the violation of the laws. Look at this. When the laws of health are violated continuously, then the body comes into play so that it can free the system from the condition that it has been put in. So any specific system of the body, it's put in a condition that is not favorable for you and me to live well. Therefore, in order for the system to be freed from that bondage, it's put in bondage because of the condition that it has been put in. It is no longer at ease. It is no longer working properly. Therefore, nature or the body comes into play. In this case, as we read in the first quotation, to say the nervous system comes into play to communicate to the whole body, to say there is one system that is not well. And because that one system is not well, because the body works as a corporate together, once one system is affected, the others, they sympathize. And because of that, the body now will present itself in form of fever or any other sickness. And that is what is called disease. So if that is the definition of disease, an effort of the body to free the system from conditions which are as a result of the violation of the laws of health or of nature, then it means that disease is not necessarily an enemy, according to this context. Get me right. Because some people will tell you, no, disease is actually an effect of sin. True? These are the effects we see because of sin. But in it, you see as well the grace of God. Because should this body be in bad conditions and not be at ease for a long period of time without them saying it, or without the body saying it, that there is something wrong, you may as well shut down and die. So according to this quotation, we are given an understanding to say there is a law that has been violated, and because a law has been violated, the body itself, nature, comes in play so that it signals you that there is something wrong, and then it presents itself in a form of sickness. So after knowing what disease is, then we should know the solution. We now understand that disease is not medication deficiency, but disease is obedience deficiency. If we obey the laws that govern our being, that we are going to look at, especially in the coming videos in our series, you will see that actually there is a lot that can be done in order to prevent disease. So the statement can be true, which says prevention is better than cure. Yes, it is more better or more wise to know how to prevent a health problem than to know best how to cure it. You have been doing the same things over and over again for a long period of time in order to fight disease, but to no avail. Up to today, even new methods are being invented to find a solution to fight against disease, to deal with disease. But little do we realize that actually we are not supposed to deal with disease itself. We are supposed to deal with the cause of disease. If you deal with disease, it's like you are dealing with the symptoms. You are actually mopping the water, and yet the tap that is the source of the water is still open. the best thing to do is to close the tap. After closing the tap, and then you mop the water, you work from cause to effect. Our quotation continues to say, in case of sickness, the cause should be ascertained, and healthful conditions should be changed, wrong habits corrected. Then nature is to be assisted in her effort to expel impurities and to re-establish right conditions in the system. In case of sickness, the first thing that you are supposed to do is to change the conditions that has been built up due to the violation of the laws of health. When the conditions are changed, the body will begin to be at ease. And when this body begins to be at ease, the daily habits that cause the bad conditions are also supposed to be changed. So your daily acts, your acts of living, are supposed to be changed in order to maintain the good health condition. And after that is done, then nature or the body is to be assisted to clean out the impurities from the system and to re-establish now those good conditions that the body was in before it became diseased or unease. What does this mean? The healthiness of your body is dependent upon the condition that your body is in. And the condition that your body is in is dependent upon your habits of living. And your habits of living, they are built up due to your daily actions. So what you do in relation to your eating, your drinking, your dressing, your resting, your exercising habits, and many others, these are the ones that will keep the body to be pure or clean or to be dirty. So a dirty environment actually brings about the diseasiness. This is why after changing the conditions, the bad conditions, you help the body to clean, to purify, to remove the impurities that caused it to be in a certain condition. All right, I want to read for you a statement that some would call radical, but it's reality that one needs to understand according to how God intends and intended for human beings. Let's read this quotation. The statement says, people need to be taught that drugs do not cure disease. It is true that they sometimes afford present relief, and the patient appears to recover as the result of their use. This is because nature has sufficient vital force to expel the poison and to correct the conditions that caused the disease. Health is recovered in spite of the drug, but in most cases, the drug only changes the form and location of the disease. Often, the effect of the poison seems to be overcome for a time, but the results remain in the system and work great harm at some later period. By the use of poisonous drugs, many bring upon themselves lifelong illness, and many lives are lost that might be saved by the use of natural methods of healing. The poisons contained in many so-called remedies create habits and appetites that mean ruin to both soul and body. Many of the popular nostrums called patent medicines, and even some of the drugs dispensed by physicians act a part in laying the foundation of the liquor habit, the opium habit, the morphine habit, that are so terrible a curse to society. There you have it. If in trying to fight disease, you introduce an impurity or anything that is dirty or anything that has a chemical that would require the body to clean, you are fighting against the body. You are actually fighting a losing battle. Many other times, when someone is diseased, the body has signaled you to say, I am diseased because there is something wrong. Many other times, when we rush to introduce certain potent medicines and also drugs in order to fight against that feeling. For example, if you have a fever, actually a fever is not an enemy but a friend. The body raises the temperature in order to make, if there is any pathogen, a germ, a virus, or anything that affects the system, if it's there inside, the body will raise the temperature to make it uncomfortable. So, when that happens, it is a signal to you and me that the body is trying to fight. The body is trying to free the system from that condition that it has been put in or lodged in. What you are to do is to ascertain the cause. That's the first thing. What has caused this fever to come about? Don't rush to kill the fever without knowing what has caused the fever to come about. Of course, you don't want your temperature to go too high, lest the body destructs itself. That is like a mechanism of self-destruction. When the body increases the temperature and the pathogen is not fought, the body will continue increasing the temperature. And this is where you are going to come in to say, how best do you control the temperature so that it does not go too high? But many other times when we rush to kill the fever without knowing what has brought the problem. This is where you are supposed to be wise, to know that in fighting disease, you are to ascertain the cause. You are to thoroughly look at what has caused the problem in order for you to fight it. Why do you take medication to cure a symptom without knowing what the problem is? You are not going to solve the problem. You're not going to solve the problem because the symptom might be worked on, but later the problem will re-emerge because the condition has not been changed. You have not ascertained the cause. So how best do we deal with disease? In a nutshell, the way we deal with disease is to ascertain the cause. And the cause will be ascertained from understanding which laws of health has been violated. After knowing which laws of health has been violated, then the condition should be changed by changing the habits. So the habits of living should be changed in that you begin to follow the laws of health that were broken, you begin to obey them. By doing that, then you will assist nature or the body to change the condition, re-establish rather, the good conditions that it's supposed to operate on, and then you will be at ease. Disease is something that can be overcome. The wrong methods are something that will make it to continue. I want to submit to you today that you should have a change in thought to understand that what you have been doing every day and coming up with the same results is as a result of you not understanding the nature of disease. But because you have known, obedience to the laws of health is your safest safeguard. And you will join me in the next series as we are going to consider truly these laws of health in relation to hygiene, to dressing, to matters of eating and drinking, to issues of nutrition, issues of exercise, issues of water, also sunlight, temperance or abstemiousness, fresh air, resting, and trusting in the designer of the body, trusting in the originator of life, the sustainer and the healer. Disease can be fought. Therefore, be wise and fight it in the method or the way that is approved of heaven. Thank you.